Let's talk honestly for a moment. There are times in life when the problem isn't that you did something wrong, it's that you did something right, and it still attracted trouble. You helped someone, and they turned against you. You stayed quiet, and your silence was misunderstood. You minded your business, yet your name became a topic of discussion. Psalm 35 was written for moments like that. David didn't write this psalm from a place of comfort. He wrote it from a place of pressure. He was being attacked without a reason, opposed without explanation, and betrayed by people who once benefited from his kindness. And instead of defending himself, he took the matter straight to God. That's why Psalm 35 matters. Right from the beginning, David says, "Lord, contend with those who contend with me. Fight against those who fight against me." That statement alone changes how we see prayer. David is not asking God to watch the situation, he's asking God to step into it. He understands something many believers forget: some battles are not meant to be managed, explained, or argued. They are meant to be handed over. Psalm 35 teaches you where to take your pain. Instead of bottling it up or releasing it in the wrong direction, David releases it upward. He doesn't deny the hurt. He doesn't pretend the betrayal didn't sting. He tells God exactly how it feels. That honesty is not weakness, it is faith that trusts God with the truth. One of the most painful lines in the psalm is when David says, "They repay me evil for good." That's a sentence many people can relate to. It's the pain of giving your best and receiving misunderstanding. Of loving sincerely and being repaid with hostility. Psalm 35 reminds you that God sees that imbalance clearly. Nothing is missed. Nothing is forgotten. What this psalm does beautifully is shift responsibility. David refuses to become the judge, the avenger, or the defender of his own reputation. He gives that role to God. And that's important, because the moment you start fighting for yourself, you often lose your peace, your clarity, and sometimes even your character. Psalm 35 protects you from that trap. There's also something deeply comforting about how David speaks to God when the situation seems delayed. He asks, "How long, Lord?" That question doesn't mean David lacks faith. It means he's human. Psalm 35 shows us that waiting does not cancel faith, it tests it. And faith survives by staying in conversation with God, not by pretending everything is fine. What makes Psalm 35 so powerful is that David commits to praise even before the situation changes. Not because the enemies are gone, but because God is present. That tells us something important. Peace doesn't come from the absence of conflict, it comes from confidence in who is fighting for you. So when you are falsely accused, when you are misunderstood, when you are surrounded by opposition you didn't invite, Psalm 35 becomes your language. It gives you words when emotions are heavy. It gives you direction when silence feels tempting. And it reminds you that God is not passive about injustice. Psalm 35 is not about revenge. It's about trust. It's about knowing that when people rise against you without cause, God rises on your behalf with purpose. And that's why you need Psalm 35. Subscribe and comment, thank you.